There's an entire feature called Parallel Query that runs on Aurora that effectively bypasses your entire database engine, if you like, effectively, and pushes the query straight to the storage layer. And the storage layer handles that query. The benefits of that are if you're running an ad hoc query, ad hoc queries in databases tend to flood the cache. Let's say somebody comes in and runs a massive analytics data warehouse type query. That might pull so much data that it pushes out all of your day-to-day, your traffic, your normal data out of your buffer cache, so your memory that the database thinks it needs. So it will pull that data into the cache, forcing out everything that you actually need. And so then that means that the next queries that come in, now their data's not in the cache, so they have to go to dish, so you get I/O spikes. So to avoid this on Aurora, Parallel Query doesn't do that. It avoids the buffer cache entirely. It quickly works out, hey, this is a new query that I've not seen before. I'm not even going to run this through the buffer cache. I'm going to run this directly on the storage layer so I don't force the existing data out of the cache. Great. Incredible feature. Really shows the power of the storage layer of Aurora, that you're running queries directly against storage. You're not even, the database is irrelevant at this point. But if you go to I/O optimized, AWS aren't daft. If you go to I/O optimized, that feature's disabled because effectively you will be slamming I/O, because now you're not taking the buffer cache. You can force everything to run Parallel Query. So in theory, you could effectively avoid I/O charge. You could effectively turn I/O optimized, push everything down to the storage layer, and then you could totally downsize your Aurora instance because you're not really using the database engine anymore. Does that make sense? So you kind of get a double win. So AWS blocked it. So just to bear that in mind, that if you are using that feature a lot, that's one more thing to consider before you definitely go to I/O optimized, because that feature will be disabled.